Welcome back to Dropout Trades, everybody. You know what day it is. It's Sunday. So that means that we're going to be making our trading plans and our trading setups for this week. In this video, we're going to be going over SPY, Tesla, and Nvidia. Let's go. Let's get right into it. All right, so first one up is going to be Nvidia. We're going to start with the support and resistance levels, and then we'll get into the trading plan. We got 416.50s, 426.20s, 435.80s, 442s, 446.50s, 452.35s, 466.30s, 471s, 479s, 485.50s, 490s, 497s, 498, and 502.85, 503. All right, let's get into a lower time frame and start making our trading plan. All right, so if we get back down to this level of 453s, as long as overall market sentiment is good and I see that it's holding over here, I do like this support over here, okay? So I will most likely enter the calls. Where I would exit would be, I would start putting my stop losses at around 457.50 to 458 to 9, depending on how it's looking that day. And I do believe that we can reach this 466. I don't think it's that big of a jump. I think it's a pretty good range to play in between over here. So I will keep my stop loss behind it and keep raising it up. I will keep it at around 457.50s, 458s, even if it gets to around this area, and I would want to see it try to break it, and then I would just keep raising my stop loss to keep securing profits, because if it does break this, I have no doubt we'll get to the 470s. This I do think will be a pretty hard resistance level to break, and if we break it, I have no doubt that we'll see the 490s again. For the downside, I would want to see it break this 452, even 450s. If we break this 450s, I would not play it. I would play it around 440. Let's see. If we break this 446, I would play it, and I would play the puts and probably exit around 443. So not that big of a trade, but it's still a good trade in my eyes. If we break anything else, let's see. If we can break this 435s, I would definitely play it all the way down to the 426.50s. I would probably exit around 428.50s to 429 to be safe. That's a $6 to $7 drop. With the right option, it's very, very good. All right, let's get into the next one. Let's get into the SPY. So in here, as you can see, we have a lot more support and resistance levels. I want to make sure you guys have all the levels that we need for this week. So I went ahead and put some extra ones for you. So let's start with the supports: 429.50s, 431.20s, 433s, 435s, 437.50s, 439s, 440s, 442.80s, 444.50s, 447.18s, 448.50s, 450.81s, 453.70s, 455.50s, 456, 456.70s, 458s, and 459.50s. All right, let's get into a lower time frame. Let's start that trading. So on Friday, as you saw, SPY dumped all the way down to the 444.50s, and then it got rejected right over here. Okay, came all the way back up. So how I would trade this would be, I don't know if I trust the support level, to be honest. I would trust more around the 442s to 442.50s, but again, it depends on how a market is looking that day. And if it does hold and builds an even nicer support level over here, then I might enter the calls. What I would want to see though, I would want to see this breaking, and if it does break, then I would just play the puts all the way down to the 443s. It's just a quick scalp. I think if we can break this 440s though, you know, around this area, 442s to let's see, around here, 440s, then I would most likely play down to the 437s with puts. I think that would be a pretty good trade, and if it keeps going down after this, I have no doubt that we'll see 435s. I don't know if we'll see 433s, but if we do break this 433s, I think it would be huge, because we might get to this 429 levels, which I think is our strongest support level in my eyes. If we break this 429s, I don't think we're gonna get there this week, but if we do, it would be a pretty big play. Where I would play it to would be, nah, I don't know about 425. I would probably play it all the way down to the 422s, honestly, if it breaks this 429s, because in my eyes, it's a pretty strong support level that hasn't been broken in a while. For the upside though, if we can break this 447s, I have no doubt that we'll see this 448.90s, which would be pretty easy to pass. and that we will see the 450s. Our strongest resistance levels right now would be this 453.70s. If we can break that, we will most likely see 455s and even 458s in my opinion. Okay, that's just my opinion. That's how I would trade it this week. That's about it for the SPY. Let's get into Tesla. So we got two 12.19s, two 18.50s, two 20.85s, two 23.50s, two 25s, two 28s, two 38s, two 43.30s, two 46.80s, two 56.70s, two 61s, two 65s, two 68.80s, two 72.80s, two 73s, two 76.50s, two 79.60s, and two 83.60s. So with Tesla, as you can tell, it's been staying around this range. So how I would play this week would most likely be this range. So it would be between this 243s to 256 and 260s. So I would most likely enter, if it came down to the 244s, I would enter here the calls, and where I would exit would probably be 254s, or I would just keep a very tight stop loss under it to let it keep coming over here. I don't know if I would wait all the way to 256 or 261s. I would just rather play the range in this area. Now, if we did break this 260s and 261s, then I would enter to the 264s. I would not hold it all the way up. Where I would hold it though is if we break this 269s, 270s. If we break this 269s, 270s, I have no doubt that we'll see 276 in my opinion. For the downside, if we can break this 243s, I would not play it. If we break this 238s, I will play it all the way down to the 227. So I would most likely exit it around 231 to 232, just to be on the safe side. That's about it for Tesla. Let's see how this week is going to go. I do think this is going to be a pretty good week, and I do think at some point it will break out either to the downside or to the upside on Tesla this week. So let's see what's going to happen. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It does help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.